na malaya lamang ang isang nag-asawa at mapuputol lamang yung bond of marriage kapag patay na ang isa sa kanila.
Those happy marriages should not be affected by the passage of this bill.
Mainit na balita. Pagpasa sa divorce bill, mahigpit na tinutulan ni Congressman Marcoleta. Congressman Lagman may rest back. Talagang isa sa mga pinakamainit na usapin sa bansa ay ang patungkol sa diborsyo na kung saan ay hati talaga ang opinyon ng mga Pilipino. Sa nangyaring sesyon ng Kamara ay nagkaroon ng isang makabuluhang diskusyonan ang dalawa sa pinakamagagaling na mambabata sa bansa at talagang maituturing ng mga beterano pagdating sa mga ganitong talakayan. Ayon nga, kay ALBAY Representative ATTY.LAGMAN, isa sa mga pangunahing may akda ng nasabing batas ay ang diborsyo daw kung maisa sa batas ay hindi para sa lahat, bagkus para lang sa mga hindi maayos-ayos na pagsasama ng isang mag-asawa upang maghiwalay sa legal na paraan. Bagay na kunestyon ni Congressman Rodante-Marcoleta.
The sponsor admitted that divorce law or this divorce bill is not intended for everybody. That it is only targeting those marriages with peculiar characters that probably needing divorce bill. So if it is for a special group of people or marriages, Mr. Speaker, it might fall under the character of a class legislation. And we should not do that. Because all laws are supposed to be applicable to all citizens of this republic. We are not supposed to legislate something that should only be for use of a few, of a special class. I will not agree with the proposition, Mr. Speaker, that the divorce bill should only be for those marriages which are at the brink of collapse. Who is going to make a judgment, Mr. Speaker, that a certain marriage is now supposed to be terminated by way of a divorce? Bakit po nung itong dalawang tao na humarap po sa kabanalan ng pagsaisang dibdib, hindi po ba ang malimit nilang sinasabi, for better or for worse? Sa karamdaman o sa kalusugan, till death do us part, Sir Speaker. Hindi ba ganun po yung general premise natin? Bakit po ang daming nag-survive? And the best example is the one of the good sponsor, Sir Speaker. Bakit hindi po ang gawin nating panuntunan, pagtulong-tulungan po natin ang mga marriages na nahihirapan? Kung kukunti naman pala yun, and there are only a special few, sabi ng ating sponsor, we're not supposed to legislate a bill that will be characterized as a class legislation, Mr. Speaker.
Nagkaroon nga ng isang mainit na debatehan sa pagitan ng dalawa na talagang nakakaaliw pakinggan. Kahit na magkakaiba ang kanilang mga ideya, ay mahusay nilang naipaliwanag ang kani-kanilang mga punto sa nasabing talakayan.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Speaker. The divorce bill, once it becomes a law, is not for everybody. Majority of the marriages in the Philippines, I think overwhelming majority of the marriages in the Philippines are enduring and loving relationship. Just like my marriage with my late wife, Cielo. And to my mind, those happy marriages should not be affected by the passage of this bill. This bill is for the exceptional circumstances where marriage has hit the rocks and is beyond repair. While it is said that marriages are solemnized in heaven, some of them plummet into hell irremediably. So, the state has the responsibility to secure spouses and their children from a house on fire. This is the reason why I have introduced this bill even before my wife and I celebrated our golden wedding anniversary. This is not for happy marriages. It is for marriages which have crumbled and are beyond repair, so that there is need for them to be given relief or a lifeline so that they can be rescued from these constant conflicts which even would affect their children. Mr. Speaker, all countries in the world have legitimized divorce, except the Philippines and the tiny ecclesiastical state of the Vatican. What does this mean? This means that there can be no unanimous blunder in these countries where divorce is allowed. And these countries would include Catholic countries and Christian countries. So in other words, divorce does not offend the Catholic or the Christian faith. And
Sa kasagsagan ng debate ay hinamon pa nga ni Congressman Marcoleta si Congressman Lagman na kung maipapakita niya ang isang Bible verse na naglalahad tungkol sa bagay na tanging makapagpapawalang bisa sa isang kasal, ay iaatras niya raw ba ang sponsorship sa nasabing batas ng diborsyo. Bagay na pinalagan naman ni Congressman Lagman.
And to the challenge, paano po kung maibibigay ko sa inyo yung verse, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, na sinasabi na malaya lamang ang isang nag-asawa at mapuputol lamang yung bond of marriage kapag patay na ang isa sa kanila. What if I am able to show you a particular biblical phrase? Will you withdraw your sponsorship, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor?
show it now.
What is the answer, Mr. Speaker?
Please show it now. If you are accepting the challenge, could you tell us where in the Bible this phrase, till death do us part, appears? Well, anyway, Mr. Speaker, when we say till death do us part, death here could be the physical cessation of life. But death also can be metaphorical. It could be the cessation of love, respect, and tolerance. That is why marriages which have forfeited these qualities of love and respect and tolerance can be the subject of divorce in all of the countries in the world except the Philippines and the Vatican. Mr. Speaker.
Let's go back to the challenge, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Will the sponsor, Mr. Speaker, be gracious enough to give me a little time because wala po palang internet dito sa loob kasi po yung aking notes nandun sa aking planner, nandun sa opisina ko, pakukuha ko lang sana. But if the sponsor will agree that if I am not able to bring to him today the particular verse in the Bible, I withdraw all my interpellation. Otherwise, if I am able to give him the complete verse in the Bible, he will withdraw his sponsorship, Mr. Speaker.
I will never withdraw my sponsorship. And I am certain the distinguished gentleman cannot show any praise in the Bible quoting till death do us part.
On the strength of my
but
oath,
but if the gentleman cannot show this, then most probably he should vote for the bill.
I want to make sure, Mr. Speaker, nandun po sa planner ko kasi sinulat ko na po kaninang umaga eh. I want to make sure, ayoko pong magkamali. Kaya kung papayag po kayo, magkaibigan naman po tayo eh. Bigyan nyo lang po ako ng ilang minuto para makuha ko po yung aking planner.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. He can get that. It should not be counted against my time.
So, kailan ko po pwedeng ibigay sa inyo?
Nasaan po yung planner ninyo?
Mr. Speaker, may I terminate my interpellation for a while until I was able to get my planner?
Yes, of course, Majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Sponsor.
To suspend session.
Speaker,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I apologize for the delay. Fortunately, I was able to retrieve the verse that I have cited. Mr. Speaker, I'm citing 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39, which reads, and I quote, "A woman is obligated to stay in her marriage as long as her husband is alive. But if her husband dies, she is free to marry whomever she wants, only it should be believer in the Lord." So till death do us part talaga. Kailangang mamatay po yung isa para lang makapag-asawa ka pa ng iba. Salamat po, Mr. Speaker. And I think my good friend is honorable enough to accept the challenge. I accepted the challenge, and I think it is for him to withdraw his sponsorship. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, what the distinguished interpellator quoted is not the phrase till death do us part. In fact, what he said was only with respect to the woman, not to the husband. It is here that when the husband dies, the woman can remarry. But it would be better if she does not remarry. That is completely different from till death do us part, which is addressed to both the husband and the wife. But as I've said, death here could be physical cessation of life or a metaphor that love, respect, and tolerance in the marriage had already ceased. And there is no way of reconciling these spouses. I am ready to answer the next question, if any.
Mr. Speaker,
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, wala
Yes, Honorable Marcoleta, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I did not know that my good friend, the sponsor, is after the exact word, till death do us part. But it was only a matter of romanticizing it, Mr. Speaker. The couple are before or is before the solemnizing priest or anyone who is in a position to celebrate the marriage. So until death do us part is to romanticize the impending relationship. But the biblical anchor is the same, Mr. Speaker. I hope my good friend could comprehend the simple import of this particular biblical passage. It is still till death do us part. Kahit bali-baligtarin mo ito, Mr. Speaker. It cannot be interpreted in another way. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your interpellation. And Mr. Speaker, even if we accept the annotation of the distinguished Marcoleta, it will not deny the fact that all Catholic countries who believe in the Bible have their own divorce laws in varying degrees of liberality. Only the Philippines and the Vatican do not have such divorce laws. Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished Marcoleta, for your homily.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sponsor, and then to the